Yeah, few things that make them even more angry.
Worried.
Yeah, them worried more.
Muta, look here, man. I tell them, you know. Anytime we start realize that white people, you know, they have to save with them our enemy. So whatever a white man, whatever we do, whatever work we do, them pay or cover our business, when a white man for come save with us, I say, we're going to save it from the white man, God. And the people, them, I try them very best to get you the man. And they're in a Jamaica as a black nation. I behave like them are here for me and so good. And imagine them quarrel some rebel motor. Quarrel the rebel them. And ask the French now, down there and down at Burkina Faso for come give us some support. And like the people must say, them for stand down almost 2 weeks after the French are come for support them and tell them to stand down. So them are fair enough. Lord, the rebel them forget it. These rebels where I try to interrupt the government from making black people life better. And you go down there and I deceive the people and say they're there with their general self to fight. Terrorists and thief for the people in mineral.
By night, them I get not warm, no hot. With a special cloud. We are over my yard. What may I tell you? Serious rain. Anyway, we there with you, with all of the madness we are going on in Jamaica, yeah. Mad, a pure madness I go on. Well, and I will say pure madness. Because I can't see some niceness I go on, but I tell you the madness overwhelming, man. Overwhelming. How we are playing them things, I know. Not even DJ. She and Unstoppable know them true, right? Because years we are said. And them time I hear when we celebrate Malcolm X. Malcolm X was assassinated. Malcolm X, one of the most radical black power advocate come out of America. Yes. Malcolm X away start me off in my consciousness, my awareness. Yes. From school days. And ironically, a two teacher turned me on to Malcolm X. One named Marcus Garvey Jr., the son of Marcus Garvey, who used to teach me at Kingston Technical High School. And the next man named Loxley Comrie. For those of you who past certain age, remember Loxley Comrie, Boys Town style. And them man the school we come from, well planted in our way and it no left from them time there. So Malcolm X is one of them ones where, trust me man, if the youth them would all listen and know where I come from, him go to prison, him do all the badness them where youth do on the road. And end up in a prison. And then get transformed in prison. Get transformed in prison, meaning say, him go sight up some man, we say them a black Muslim or Nation of Islam, and change him life, turn him life around. And when him come out, him join the Nation of Islam group, headed by Elijah Muhammad. And from that day until him death, him was all around the place, trying to get black people to wake up. Yes, trying to get black people to wake up. And guess what? A whole heap of we still no wake. If we are asleep at nightmare we have. As a man who, when we done read him autobiography by Alex Haley, it turned we on to a level now where we have to go dig deep. Dig deep. Malcolm X named Malcolm Little. His father come from Georgia. And his mother come from Grenada. Yes, Malcolm Little, him changed his name to Malik Shabazz. Because when him joined the Nation of Islam, them never really want to keep them European name. Even though only for them go to Arab name. But Shabazz was more befitting for him. His father was a Christian, you know, in a Georgia there, you know, a whole heap of black people rise up out of Georgia. In them time there, that was like the centerpiece. It in New York, the centerpiece, black awakening and black consciousness. And then we did have some in Oakland too, because the Black Panther. So, as a man who have a Grenadian mother and an African-American father, and him born in America, him rise up to become one of the main target for the FBI. Him rise up to be one of the main target for assassinations, just like Martin Luther King and others before him. But him leave a legacy that is undeniable. One of the greatest legacy a man can leave in relationship to how him view him race and how him say we should do things to get cross. I hope people don't like what him say. But I tell you, if you did do a whole heap of things what him did say, we would still ourselves in this problem we're now. Malcolm X we celebrate because when I come on when his birthday. Like a small biography of who was Malcolm X. So I listen, for those of you who don't even know who named Malcolm X.
Who taught you to hate your own kind? Who taught you to hate the race that you belong to? So much.
And a revolutionary. This is the extraordinary journey of Malcolm X. Malcolm X was born in 1925 in Omaha, Nebraska. His parents, Earl and Louise Little, were followers of the Pan-African activist Marcus Garvey. As a result, their family was subjected to constant harassment by the Ku Klux Klan, who burned down their home when Malcolm was just 4 years old. The family moved to Michigan, where they were threatened by the Black Legion, an offshoot of the KKK. 4 of Malcolm's uncles were also murdered by white racists. Malcolm's father died when he was 6. The incident was officially ruled a streetcar accident, although his mother believed he had ultimately been murdered by the Black Legion. When Malcolm was 13, his mother was committed to a mental institution. Her children were split up and sent to different foster homes. Malcolm was an excellent student, but dropped out of school after a white teacher told him it was unrealistic for a young black boy to have aspirations of being a lawyer. After a few years in Michigan and Boston, he moved to Harlem at the age of 18, where he was involved in gambling, robbery, drug dealing, and pimping. At the age of 21, after committing a string of robberies with a small gang in Boston, Malcolm was arrested and sentenced to 8 to 10 years at Charlestown State Prison. Incarceration was the beginning of Malcolm's transformation. While in prison, his siblings began writing to him about the Nation of Islam and its leader, Elijah Muhammad. The Nation of Islam promoted black independence and rejected the notion of the superiority of white people. Instead, Elijah Muhammad taught his followers a form of separatism from whites, who were actually considered devils, inferior to black people, who were the original inhabitants of Earth. Malcolm, initially hostile to the idea of any religion, eventually became a member of the nation. He read books constantly and began writing regularly to Elijah Muhammad. Muhammad's followers were taught to abandon their given family names, as they were actually the names of former slave owners. So Malcolm Little became Malcolm X. After being paroled, Malcolm visited Elijah Muhammad in Chicago. In June the next year, he was named Assistant Minister of the Nation of Islam's Temple No. 1 in Detroit. He later established Boston's Temple No. 11 and expanded Temple No. 12 in Philadelphia.
And those of you who think that you perhaps came here to hear us tell you to turn the other cheek to the brutality of the white man, I say again, you came to the wrong place.
Finally,
you to turn the other cheek. We teach you to obey the law. We teach you to carry yourselves in a respectable way. But at the same time, we teach you that anyone...
Sudden profile as the nation's rising star. Malcolm's rise to national prominence happened in 1957 when he intervened at a police station to arrange for medical assistance and legal help for members of the nation who had been beaten and arrested by New York police. The crowd of protesters outside grew to almost 4,000. Witnessing Malcolm's control of the crowd shook the New York Police Department. Within weeks, they had him under surveillance and officially began infiltrating the nation. In 1958, Malcolm married his wife Betty, with whom he would have 6 daughters. Malcolm's profile continued to grow via print and television appearances, and he began to gain international exposure.
Who is it that controls the prostitution in Harlem? It's the white man. Who controls the large sale of whiskey and wine? It's the white man. Who gives you the deck of cards and the dice that you use to gamble with?
He was deeply critical of the growing civil rights movement and its leaders, like Dr. Martin Luther King, who preached integration.
That's what you mean by nonviolence. Be defenseless. Be defenseless in the face of one of the most cruel beasts that has ever taken the people into captivity. That's this American white man. 100 years ago, they used to put on, just as Uncle Tom back during slavery used to keep the Negroes from resisting the Bloodhound or resisting the Ku Klux Klan by teaching them to...
The man who had transformed his life was about to fracture. Tensions were growing within the nation over the amount of attention Malcolm was receiving compared to his mentor, Elijah Muhammad. An unprovoked rape, no charges were laid against the police.
You've been sweet-talking him ever since he brought you here. Stop sweet-talking. Tell him how you feel.
They also disagreed over Malcolm's desire to begin working with civil rights organizations, black politicians, and other religious organizations. Then, suddenly...
Here is a bulletin from CBS News. 3 shots were fired at President Kennedy's motor base.
Malcolm X, you were involved in a controversy some months ago with your leader. Is that over? Well, I've been silent
from the Nation of Islam. He also expressed a desire to work with other civil rights.
Muhammad himself. And how many of these illegitimate children did he father with the sisters?
Well, he made 6 sisters pregnant. They all had children. 2 of those 6 had 2 children. I am told that there is a 7th, probably a dead man already.
After 2 trips to Africa, meeting officials and speaking on radio and television across the continent. In Cairo, he attended the 2nd meeting of the Organization of African Unity and met Africa's most high-profile leaders, including Kwame Nkrumah of Ghana, Gamal Abdel Nasser of Egypt, and Ahmed Ben Bella of Algeria, who all offered him official positions in their respective governments. He met with Fidel Castro and was one of the first African-American leaders to meet the newly created Palestinian Liberation Organization, and was one of the pioneers of a tradition of Black Palestinian solidarity that would be continued by the Black Panther Party and the Black Lives Matter movement. A common misconception about Malcolm's philosophical evolution is that his process of turning to Sunni Islam softened his political positions. While it's true that Malcolm abandoned some of the nation's more extreme separatist positions on race, he remained a staunch black nationalist.
I think what a lot of people are interested in, Malcolm, is whether your feelings have changed, that the animosity you have expressed in the past toward all fights.
There's one thing that I want to make clear. No matter how much respect, no matter how much recognition whites show toward me, as far as I'm concerned, as long as that same respect and recognition is not shown toward every one of our people in this country.
Seeing black liberation as something beyond the United States, and as something that was intimately tied to struggles for independence across the Third World.
It has remained a domestic problem. It has remained within the jurisdiction of the United States. And as such, it has been impossible for the Afro-Americans or American Negroes to try and enlist the support of other dark-skinned people who are being oppressed the world over in that struggle. And the only way this can be done is by internationalizing the problem.
If you take up arms, you'll end it. But if you sit around and wait for the one who's in power to make up his mind that he should end it, you'll be waiting a long time.
And FBI surveillance records show that law enforcement was aware that elements within the nation were openly discussing his death. Then his house was burned down. In Manhattan's Audubon Ballroom, he was shot 21 times. 3 Nation of Islam members were tried and convicted of the murder, but questions remained. At the time of his death, Malcolm was under surveillance by both the NYPD and the FBI's COINTELPRO operation. For many, there is simply no doubt that one or both organizations should share. Most importantly, his own autobiography, which continues to be celebrated and was named one of the 10 most influential non-fiction books of the 20th century. His politics continue to inspire generations of activism against racism and imperialism worldwide.
People in power have misused it, and now there has to be a change, and a better world has to be.
Harlem has come to bid farewell to one of its brightest hopes. What Harlem finds to honor in this stormy, controversial isle. Many will say, turn away from this man, for he is not a man, but a demon, a monster, a subverter, and an enemy of the black man. And we will answer and say unto them, did you ever talk to Brother Malcolm? Did you ever touch him? Or have him smile at you? Did you ever really listen to him? Malcolm was our manhood, our living black manhood. This was his meaning to his people. And in honoring him, we honor the best in ourselves. What we place in the ground is no more now a man, but a seed, which, after the winter of discontent, will come forth again to meet us. And we shall know him then for what he was and is, a prince, our own black shining prince, who did not hesitate to die because he loved us so.
You now use Shabazz and drop X?
I'll probably continue to use Malcolm X.
I'm office. And instead I'm a player whole heap of different music. Him stitch it down and take out an album name, Message from the Grassroots by Malcolm X. And him put it on in I'm office and make it sit down there and listen to it. Yes, when you don't listen to that, trust me, man.
Perfected the art of making Negroes be afraid. And as long as the Negro's afraid, the Klan is safe. But the Klan itself is coward. They never come, one of them never come after one of you. They all come together. And they're scared of it. And you sit there when they put the rope around your neck saying, forgive them, Lord. You know not what they do. As long as they've been doing it, they're experts at it. They know what they're doing. No, since the federal government has shown that it isn't going to do anything about it, but talk, then it is a duty. It's your and my duty as men, as human beings. It's our duty to our people to organize ourselves and let the government know that if they don't stop that Klan, we'll stop it ourselves. And then you'll see the government start doing something about it. But don't ever think that they're going to do it just on some kind of morality basis. No. So I don't. And you can't stop it with love. Not love of those things down there. No. So we only mean vigorous action in self-defense. And that vigorous action we feel we're justified in initiating by any means necessary. Now the threat behind something like that, they call us racist and people of violence in reverse. This is how they psycho you. They make you think that if you try to stop the Klan from lynching you, you're practicing violence in reverse. Pick up on this. I hear a lot of you all parrot what the man says. You say, well, I don't want to be a Ku Klux Klan in reverse. Well, you should. If a criminal comes to rob your house, brother, with his gun, just because he got a gun and he's robbing your house, and he's a robber, it doesn't make you a robber because you grab your gun and run him out. No. See, the man is using some tricky logic on you. And he has absolutely got a Ku Klux Klan outfit that goes through the country frightening black people. Now, I say that it's time for black people to put together the type of action, the unit that is necessary to pull the sheet off of them so they won't be frightening black people any longer. That's all. And when we say this, the press calls us racists in reverse. Don't struggle only within the ground rules that the people you're struggling against has laid down. Why, it's just insane. But it shows you how they can do. They make with skillful manipulating of the press, they're able to make the victim look like the criminal, and the criminal look like the victim. An admiration for one who has the nerve to tie his own hand and then walk out and let a brute brutalize him. I have to respect him because he's doing something that I don't understand. What he's doing is beyond my power even to comprehend. It would be equivalent to putting handcuffs on me and putting me in the ring and telling me to fight Cassius Clay or Sonny Liston non-violently. I don't think I could do it. And whoever could do it, I'd have to, power to you. But all I'm saying, sir, is this. When you're in Mississippi, whenever you're dealing with an enemy, you have to be able to, there must be some dialogue. You have to be able to communicate. You can't, and the medium of communication usually is language. You must speak the language that the other person understands. If you're speaking to someone who can speak only French, you can't speak German to him, or Italian, or Swahili. You have to speak to him in the language he understands. When you're in Mississippi, speaking the language of morality, or the language of nonviolence, you're not communicating. You're talking a language that they don't understand. All I suggest is, and I don't suggest it as condemnation of Coco or Smith. I know too many of them. They're brave students, men, and all of that. All I'm saying is, since your approach, as you say, is tactical, a tactical approach is designed to get certain results. It's designed to keep you alive. It's designed to bring about victory. Why, we just can't say that victory has been brought about. We can't say that it is preserving life. I'm inclined to believe that you take the same people who are so dedicated and don't tie their hands. Tell them to be peaceful. Tell them to obey the law. Tell them to be disciplined and all of that. But at the same time, tell them, while you are obeying the law and trying to help teach the people of Mississippi who are black how to register so that they too can obey the law. Anyone who steps up then and begins to try and keep you from this registration, they're breaking the law. They're lawbreakers. They're criminals. Why, then you have, what kind of language are you going to use? Love? You got the wrong language. They don't love themselves. They don't love each other. There's no love between them. So I'm not criticizing you or condemning you, but I am questioning your tactics. I'm questioning your tactics. Now, you know what? I think people who tell our people to be nonviolent are almost agents of the Ku Klux Klan. I don't think 1965 will see a very nonviolent year. Your year was 64. Sir? We have some order, please. He's all right. We have some order. I don't blame him. He's excited. I would be excited. Now look, hey, look. If you're going to be nonviolent in Mississippi, you should be nonviolent here. I tell you why. It would be more tactical to be nonviolent with me than it would be to be nonviolent with the Klan.
White liberals who have posed as our friends, white liberals who have been eager to point out what the white man in the South has been doing to us, while they themselves here in the North are doing the same thing. They have been making a great fuss over the South, only to blind us to what is happening here in the North. And now that the eyes of America's 20 million blacks can easily see that this white sox here in the North is even more cruel and vicious than the white wolf in the South. The southern wolves always let you know where you stand. But these northern foxes pose as white liberals. They pose as your friend, pose as your benefactor, pose as your employer. They pose as your organization. And in this manner, by joining you, they strangle your militant efforts toward freedom, toward justice, and part of our people. We see the increase of violence and bloodshed between the white oppressor and... We believe this is the time in history for the separation of... By this we mean that we should be freed from the names imposed upon us by our former slave masters. Murphy is not your name. Jackson is not your name. Smith is not your name. Bunch is not your name. Powell is not your name. The black people of the earth. We believe in justice for all, whether in God or not. We believe as others that we are due equal justice as human beings. We believe in equality as a nation of equals. We do not believe that we are equal with our slave masters in the status of free slaves. What that means, you and I can't walk around here saying we're equal to the white man. White man got all the factories, got all the stores, all the businesses, all the schools, and you're going to tell us we're equal with him? No, we're not equal until we make ourselves equal. We're not equal until we have what he has, until we have for ourselves what he has for himself. When he runs up his flag, we need a flag that we can run. When he breaks out his army, we need our army. He come up with his Navy, we need our Navy. He have his Air Force, we need our Air Force. He have his bullets, we need our bullets. Then when we got the same thing that he has, we're equal. But as long as we're begging him for what he has, we're not equal to him. We recognize and respect American citizens as independent people, and we respect their laws which govern the nation. And it is true, we don't love any white man, but we respect his law. We obey his law. You won't find us pretending to love them. They're not worthy of our love. But we respect their law. We respect their flag. We respect their government. We don't believe in it, but we respect it. We respect authority. We respect the offer of integration is hypocritical and is made by those who are trying to deceive the black people into believing that their 400-year-old open enemy of freedom, justice, and equality all of a sudden are their friends. Furthermore, we believe that such deception is intended to prevent black people from realizing that the time in history has, by dividing up America with their slaves. We do not believe that America will ever be able to furnish enough jobs for her own millions of unemployed white people, in addition to jobs for the 20 million black people.
Take your time,
Harassment. They engage in such harassment because the American government wants to turn you against your own kind in order to keep you from making a mass exodus out of this country back to your own country where you can live among your own kind. So the American propaganda is designed to make you think that no matter how much hell you catch here, you are still better off here in America than you would be elsewhere. This is their trick. They want you to think you have no place else to go. And many of our so-called Negro intellectuals who pose as our leaders and our spokesmen actually believe that our people have no place else to go. And so this type of leader can only offer a solution designed to make us stay here and continue to catch hell patiently in the hope that someday the white man will have a change of heart and recognize us too as human beings and then accept us into his white society. You never will have peace here. Anything that was said, watch how they say it. Let me show you how tricky he is. Because he don't even want you to think that anybody will listen. They took a census in Newsweek magazine, white man. And by the way, the old white man who owned the magazine blew his brains out last week. Yeah, he did. Blew He owned the Washington Post and the Newsweek magazine, and he was, I think he was Mr. Kennedy's best friend. One of his advice. In a moment of happiness, he blew out his brain. I love to see them get that happy.
Yeah, everybody.
But today I have to make you know of those who pass on and who stand up in front of all of these people who enslaved our ancestors. Stand up and tell them, say, watch out. We're not going to take it, you know. We're not going to go like we're an idiot. And even all of that, it's still have a whole heap of way. We're still going like we're an idiot. Because when they hear about black or Africa or anything like that, them know that.
Yourself. And you show me one of these people over here who have been thoroughly brainwashed, who has a negative attitude toward Africa, and I'll show you one that has a negative attitude toward himself. You can't have, and this is what the white man knows. So they very skillfully characteristics, and you know yourself, that we have been a people who hated our African characteristics. What was holding us back automatically had to become hateful to us, and it became hateful to us. You have to with some songs, and in that way. But when in serious things, where our food, clothing, and shelter was concerned, and our education was concerned, we turned to the mass. We never thought in terms.
Still I see it. African people hate themselves. The normal Jamaican, if you walk on the street and talk about Africa, them say, I come here with a Rasta talk, I mean, I don't know Rasta talk. I never tell them nothing about Rasta, you know. Africa, you tell them about. But say to them associate Africa with Rasta. Them associate Africa with themselves. Them is different. If you say West Indian, they would have preferred that. And them are not Indian. Yes. You think you could have opened a Chinaman and say, man, and say, want to Chinaman. If not, say, man, no Chinese, even them never go to China yet. Most of the Chinese, them in Jamaica, never go to China yet. But when you talk to them are Chinese. We take the break and come forward. Break time.
Now, and look at you. Who taught you to hate yourself?
Well, I got the books right here, and they're open to each and every brother, complete inspection. Get your hands off of that thing there. So you want to see the financial books, huh? Yeah. Well, there he is. There he is. You done see them. The meeting's adjourned.
What makes the so-called Negro unable to stand on his own 2 feet? He has no self-confidence. He has no confidence in his own race. Because the white man destroyed your and my past, destroyed our knowledge of our culture. And by having destroyed it, now we don't know we have any achievement, any accomplishment. And as long as you can be convinced that you never did anything, you can never do anything.
That's your papa talking to you now, Dice. Come on. Just hit it one more time.
Who's in there?
Ain't nobody in there but us chickens.
This is why the white man, his little children, he tells them about George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, all these white heroes. But we are never taught about any black hero. Only someone we're shown in history is my grandfather was picking cotton.
From the break of
their ground, who were scientists, who were civilizers, who were fathers of culture and civilization, the white man has shrewdly written that role out of the textbook. And today, the effect that it has on you and me, we don't think we can stand on our own 2 feet.
Judge Rankin, can I see you some, please?
Well, I'm pretty busy.
Yes, but I just want to ask if you cared about it.
Care about what?
About at my house, night before last.
Oh, another baby?
Yes, you sure guessed it, you heard?
What's his name?
Oh, we call him L.R. Elias Rigby Livingston.
Oh, named them after me, did you?
Yes, Elias Rigby. I told my wife, Ethel, I said, honey, I know Judge Show gonna be gratified.
Well, of course, yes, I appreciate the honor.
Yes, sir.
I suppose a compliment, and I ought to do something for it.
Yes, sir, that's what I thought.
You come over to my place tomorrow, and I'll give you a job.
Yeah.
Breaking leaves.
I him to wait.
We wake up, we clean up, and we stand up. And once we can stand up like a man on our own feet, we stop begging the white man. And we stop apologizing to the white man. We stop compromising with the white man. Then the world will look at us with recognition and respect. But as long as you run around here wearing the white man's name, bragging about you one of the Jones, or one of the Browns, or one of the Smiths, or as long as you run around here bragging about your part in this so-called American democracy, then you will always be looked down upon as a chump by the white man. You never will be given recognition nor respect. Your problem will continue to go unsolved, and we'll still be in the same rut or ditch 1,000 years from now that we're in right now.
Yes, Malcolm is saying it loud and clear from them time there. Serious thing on the 19th of May. It's supposed to be in birthday. As I tell you already, his mother come from Grenada and his father come from Georgia. Him born in America, said we go to prison, come out back and turn a national hero. We have on the line here Michael Barnett, who is going to remember Malcolm X with a presentation. Good night, sir.
Yes, good night, Muta. Yeah, man. All the audio clips you've been playing of Malcolm and all of that, just, you know,
yes,
is powerful because, you know, I have respected and loved Malcolm from, you know, I was a youth.
Yeah, man, from school.
So that inspired me to coordinate an event, a commemorative lecture on Monday in celebration of the 100th anniversary of Earth Strong, Malcolm, you know, over at UWI, Bona campus. And that's at 6 o'clock, a place called the Multifunctional Room, which is near the main library. So 6 p.m. in the evening on Monday. And we'll have Reverend Kobe Little, who is a member of the
relative. What I'm relative?
Yeah, relative. Yeah.
What is it? What part-time relative he means?
He probably like third cousin removed or something.
Oh,
like
far.
Yeah. I actually tried to get Yasser Shabazz, his third daughter, but yeah, that never, you know, reaped any. That never came true. It was proved difficult. But I'm still glad, you know, that a family member, someone who's passionate about Malcolm, is willing to come flying. We're flying in him, actually. He's based in Baltimore, Maryland, you know?
Okay.
And he's a Baptist minister in the tradition of Earl Little, Malcolm's father, and in his own way, he's an activist himself. He is the president of the Maryland NAACP chapter from 2018 up till last year. He's a consummate reparations activist from ever since the early 90s. You know, he's basically a voice not just for reparations in the U.S., but Pan-Africanism and African world affairs. He travels a lot doing his thing, and he spent some time in Selma, Alabama at the early at the turn of the 21st century there, learning firsthand from civil rights activists down in Selma, Alabama. So he's, in his own way, trying to, cut through, to follow Malcolm in some respect, you know?
Okay.
So he's going to be the keynote speaker. I'm going to give some opening remarks to give perspective on why Malcolm is still relevant today. His speeches, his unapologetic stance for equal rights and justice, and you know, a Pan-African champion in his own right. And I see him as a bridge between Marcus Garvey and the 1960s Black Power movement. I see Malcolm as that bridge, actually, in that he inspired Kwame Ture, he inspired Willie Ricks.
Well, the whole I'm family was member of you and I, yeah.
That's
when
right.
I follow me, I mean, even mother, father,
yes,
was member
exactly.
of you and I, yeah.
And Malcolm, in his autobiography, speaks very, very strongly about how his father, you know, carried him to meetings, meetings, and how he was inspired by Marcus Garvey, looking at the photos that were passed from hand to hand in the meetings that his father held, and you know, what Marcus Garvey advocated, the Black pride, Black empowerment. So from early years, you know, he had that inspiration, and I think he, you know, carried it through. But you know, he's worthy of celebrating. So you know, that they're having celebrations in the U.S., and I don't see why we can't have that in Jamaica. We can't recognize, you know.
Well, we are trying to use the radio. We are trying to use the radio for part of that, as part of that celebration. You know?
Yes.
Could I never go without doing this? Yes.
It's great, Muta, because even I've been listening to the show from earlier, and I get some great clips. So
yeah. So who is going to speak at your function? Who is going to speak?
It'll be Reverend Kobe Little as the keynote. I will make some remarks, as I said, to try and set a context for why it's important to celebrate Malcolm's legacy as a Pan-African champion. Stephen Golding will also be making some opening remarks connecting the legacy of Marcus Garvey with Malcolm X. So in terms of speakers, and then we will, you know, open it up then for a lively discussion with the audience about Malcolm's legacy, and you know, everything is there. So for those who are interested, it's a free event. So you know, it should be a very lively discussion, enigmatic, and you know, as I said, Mona campus, Monday the 19th is coming Monday, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. in the location is the multifunctional room, which is near the main library. It's the main library at the...
They're supposed to know that by now.
Yes, hopefully people know that.
All right.
But, yeah, man, so, we're celebrating the legacy of Malcolm just as you're doing so yourself, you know?
Give thanks, man.
Give thanks. Much thanks.
All right.
Bless. All right.
Yes. Malcolm X to
the Arab conquerors. The Arabs didn't come to Egypt until 640. The first non-African people came to Egypt, otherwise called the Hyksos, in 1675 BC. The Africans there were already in the 13th dynasty period. They had built every pyramid you saw there before. They had done the S-turn in the Nile. They built every one of the major temples that had already been built, including the Grand Lodge of Luxor. The first European to come there did not arrive until the Greeks arrived with Alexander II, the son of Philip of Macedonia.
Look, I'm a college graduate. I never heard all this stuff.
Because they didn't intend to teach you that. They can't tell you that you're inferior and teach you that you taught Egypt, Europe. The first Europeans to be civilized by the Africans were the Greeks. When you heard of Homer, the first European to have written anything, you couldn't miss that. They said that Homer wrote the Iliad and the Odyssey. And that was not until 833 BC. The Africans had already, in 255,000 at the Tassili Mountain, they had the Sibyllian period, first, second, and third, the pre-dynastic period, all the way up. The Africans had produced men like this, Imhotep, the multi-genius that designed the step pyramid of Saqqara, the first man to be a physician that even Hippocrates, the so-called father of medicine, is giving him credit and calling him the god of medicine. The Greeks changed his name from Imhotep to Esculapius. There he is.
Yes, that was our long time bridging passway. And you know, bring him come to Jamaica twice. RFM bring him come to Jamaica twice. Would I be glad if a whole heap of them man was still alive still? Because it would appear that these ones who are grow up, you know, don't take this thing as serious. Them see the thing unravel in front of them and don't even know, say, and them know it depend for do things. Can't wait upon this brother Joseph Ben Buchanan and Malcolm X who dead, him dead, Oliver man dead gone, and the struggle continue. I will tell you, there was a time in the university was very active when you come on to these things. In university, Upper Mona, they was very active. Nowadays, these youth, they're not interested in nothing as it relates to Africa or blackness. Not at all. You know, see, them just wait for the next fete to dance and jump up and down and all them. Them not nothing with them, something we are talking about, you know. Some of them go to church, and that is it. But as it relates to Africa, as it relates to we are going in Africa, them not in that at all. So, we not left it out though, because of our life. Our life, we not left it out.
Right now in this country, if you and I, 22 million African Americans, that's what we are. Africans who are in America. You nothing but Africans. Nothing but Africans. Friend of mine, you let the white man walk around here talking about how rich this country is, but you never stop to think how it got rich. And work for nothing, making the white man rich, making them...
How come you fight us for the white man, and the white man treat you worse than him treat us? Because we could have never stand straight if we allow the white man to treat us like how him treat you. Would have preferred die. Words from the Native American to the Buffalo Soldier.
Imagine the white man telling you and me that Africa is a jungle and everything over there is backward. And if you go over there, you won't like the living conditions. How are they living over there? Why, we got to fight them over there to get them out. If there's nowhere over there, why don't they get out of there? Why did Lumumba have to fight to get the Belgians out of the Congo? Because the Congo is one of the most beautiful places on this earth. If it wasn't beautiful, the white man wouldn't be there. You got the white man all over there. He's everywhere over there, living like a king. But they're getting ready to send him. Send him. No, it's not a jungle. It's civilized. It's cultured. It's developed. It's intelligent. High moral. High everything. Good people. Friendly people. Hospitable people. Brother to a brother. That's how they kidnapped us. We were too hospitable. We saw the old white man coming over the hill, and we accepted him into the city as a friend. And he shipped us down the river, sold us into bondage. This is one of the greatest mistakes that our people made, opening their doors in hospitality to the white man. And when we first saw him coming, we should have sent him then. And we never would have had to catch the hell we've been catching over here in America for the past 400 years. When he came to Africa, he came from the jungle to civilization. Because the jungle was in Europe. Savages were in Europe. Cannibals were in Europe. Cannibals weren't in Africa. Cannibals were in Europe. White people were up to eating each other up. They still eat each other up. You've seen these berries and things running around here. Those are white people. They have no moral. A low-down, filthy race. The most filthy race on this earth. They didn't walk upright. They didn't wear clothes. They didn't cook their food. Why, they ate raw meat. They still like their meat rare. Rare? Raw. That's the dog in them, brother. That's the animal in them, brother. Now they're a race of cave dwellers.
Yes. The time is 12 o'clock. On the dot, 12 o'clock.
Brothers and sisters, this is
Kumba. Nice music. Right.
Pleasure again. You're the top thing. I go on to Jamaica, I'm on cutting edge and step in the razor. Big up yourself.
Yeah,
Muta.
Yeah.
As a youth, I grew up. And I tell ignorance that thing no Muta, but thanks for the education. So I grew up and convinced that England, France, and US was the savior for us in our day. Even for us in our Muta. And when black people say things or do things, when you hear all sort of people come down upon and all that. Muta, imagine England and America and France and Germany too. But England, France mostly. Burkina Faso, now this man come and grow up and say, leaders was puppet to the West. And them grow up and say, nah, go happen to him and them people, the love of the man of them people. And we blatantly I try to assassinate the man Mutan and England. We can't find a black people.
Money.
We're not trouble them Mutan. No, I don't know if a black man I try to disrupt US government or France or Germany or England. Why don't you leave we alone? And I tell Jerry, you know, me and no white boy, no friend, you know, because my two brothers married two white men, I'm going to talk to them. Muta, imagine the Burkina Faso army, the man, of the French down there, so them, they are there to help them from terrorists, you know. And Muta, can you imagine the French government tell the man, the government down in Burkina Faso, so the only thing them can give them was uniform and boot. Giving them weapons is illegal and it's a lethal force. And the rebel are trying to kill Muta. The French government, some undercover person, because I listen to documents, so go undercover and realize that the French government has supply the rebel them with food and ammunition, Muta. And I do the same thing to the government. Really no Muta, them look a white boy, them devil. All the man want to know is to stop seeing people them suffer. I had all sort of things to kill, get rid of the man really sorry for the as a slave, on the feet to stop, and then have the man mineral them I sell it, I buy it from them for cent, and I sell it for 2,000.
But I like them to do some Cora, you know. That one day, and him appear homage that one day. Him build all that a kind of thing for him. Yeah, him did get assassinated by the same people them who never like to go on with the government. And the worst not like that one, you know, because
him too educated.
Not only too educated. Them see him link up with all the Russian brother there.
Putin.
Yeah, Putin. That make them even more angry.
Worried.
Yeah, them worried more.
Muta, look here, man. I tell them, you know, anytime we start to realize that white people are there to save with them our enemy, So whatever a white man, whatever we do, whatever work we do, them pay or cover our business, when a white man for come save with us, I say, we're going to save it from the white man, God. And the people, them, I try them very best to get you the man. And they are in a Jamaica as a black nation. I behave like them are here for me and so good. And imagine them quarrel some rebel motor, quarrel the rebel them, and ask the French now down there and down at Burkina Faso for come give us some support. And like the people them I say, them for stand down almost 2 weeks after the French are come to support them and tell them to stand down. So them are fair enough. Lord, the rebel them forget it. These rebels where I try to interrupt the government from making black people life better. And you go down there and I deceive the people and say they're there with their general self to fight. Terrorists and a thief for the people in mineral.
It's about nearly 20 times them try to assassinate him, you know. Tuareg, you know. Nearly 20 times them try to assassinate him.
Motor, anytime we're there and realize we're going to fight fire with fire, I bet it stop. We have to stop behave like, why we black people want a friend from white people? We don't need a friend from white people. If we have as that, we'll fight fire with fire. And we'll stop behave like we're a lamp motor, man. It's the same thing out here. We have a puppet government out here. We don't even want to strain a motor. You have whatever. I go down to a motor and you see how much children. And all the government do, them come up with a body on the soca. All them do is play chatting motor. And nothing about it. Them not nothing about it. I'm going to tell you again, motor. Anytime you start up Jamaican police, start with a beat, fuck the neighborhood, knock up the people them and talk to them, ask them, all them inside of the parade I get ticket. You have a better police. Because we can never look if a fine. You have a girl rape a jungle, she dead. You have a next one now, she come and just go on and on and nothing in place to mitigate the problem. All these guys is just chat. So rather than a motor, rather how much $1 million water, wheat, can't all it in general run all it, can't get account feet. Them say, then give minister. Then them come back now and say, rather I'll bring paper for sure so the wheat was distributed equally and fair. Just like the $3 trillion where them can't get account for. And up until this for a minute motor, you notice it become a dead thing. Favor William say, she going keep her up to date and whatever. And now her argument like the money there about want to check it out it. And it just total silence, motor. Total silence. And these people behave like say black people are animals and them are not a human being, but yet them will come and give a God and will come love up the God and them alone have brain. Oh a man see where the previous leader them do motor to the people and keep people in poverty and pay disease and kill other people and come now say yo we are going to sell $1 million and them send a black man as a puppet now from the White House to come and check the man the motor, a black man, you know, and this black ballad, roast breadfruit. I tell the man for this month, him going up. Well, America.
No, we are going to reach now because you're going to America now. Which part there?
When them send the Governor General down there.
Which Governor General?
Not the Governor General, one general from the U.S. Army.
Go down where?
I tell him for must say I check when name the captain down there. No, Burkina Faso. Sorry, yeah. I threaten him.
Oh.
But he might take the goal and I sell it for more interest. You saw them guys that can cook up things like him take black people for novice.
But you see, a black man down there will help them to get you them too. You know, you're a black man from the neighboring country where I get ready to assassinate him.
Assassinate him?
Yeah.
Man, I tell him more time. if black people can't go on listen to two more.
No, it now go so all the way, you know. It now go so all the way, Bridget.
Why Muta? No, bro.
Anyway,
good for the program and thing. And Muta, last thing, a 3 supermarket I've been to since last week. And incidentally, the people in Muta in there, I complain more every time I'm coming to the supermarket, the price I go up Muta. 3 supermarket last week. And Andrew only start about it, you know. Just talking and then it just dead. So, you know, the prices in the supermarket just go up without no notice. Muta not for justified when the man stop. Long life here and a black.
All right, sir. Yeah, man. All right. Good night, man. Take out the goal, so. And we not get nothing. No leave. Mali. Burkina Faso. Senegal. Join the thing, I know. Niger. We see some others that join Namibia. The woman say, look, you know. We have to have visa for go to America. We don't see why America shouldn't have visa for come to our country. At this rate, you know, silent revolution will take place. No, and the other one. The African style. Destiny, yes, EL. Blessed.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Long time I don't hear from you.
Yeah, true. I'm never in the island.
You think it's a Burkina Faso, man?
No, it's a for real. It's for real. I want to reach a Burkina Faso. One of them time about, I don't really touch African side yet,
Oh, yeah?
I tell myself saying I'm out there. Anytime I touch African side, maybe I live there,
Yeah.
Because you see, in Burkina Faso, although a French them speak, them first language, I guess I want to live, I want to live in one country where I can look up on the leader and know the leader is like me.
Tell them to close the car door, whatever I make nice.
Close the car door.
Yeah. Yeah, man. See? Because you want to. You see, that youth that lead.
Yeah.
Hold on, I still have my moves out here.
Yeah, man, I hear it, man.
Yeah,
Maybe at the seat belt.
Yeah, seat belt. Yeah, my bro.
Why loud I know? Loud I know.
Yeah, man. It's supposed to go on,
Yeah, all right.
Go on, don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, me I say, this when you can walk with a leader, say, yeah. Muta the leader, that walk, say, the life can in him hand and, say, yeah. You will fight, Muta. You will fight till death, But you see, when you say, the leader there is a puppet and him can sell you out at any moment, a big problem that, it's like how Bob Marley said, boy, the first step. I would say, Marcus Garvey, yeah. See? Say, if you don't try, you never know if you're win. See? So, you have to try. See? But I don't start going now. When you have a strong leader, Bridget. See? So the world walk out to the man right there. When the little captain, the little general from Louisiana there, see, come out and talk about the man that use gold. Use the gold for himself and enrich himself and all that thing there. See? And the man I said, Burkina Faso never have no gold reserve, because the whole of the gold gone out of the country.
The French take it.
The French take it.
Yeah.
See? So, since him coming now, him have put up some gold reserve because I'm fancy. Gold reserve even valuable more than US dollar.
Of course. See, all the country them are moving from US dollar now.
Yeah. Because some of them print US dollar. See? A US print for them dollar, see, and distribute all. You know, it's the biggest mistake that ever make. When the man them load the aisle, when the aisle people, let me know, make that happen, you know. Make US dollar response to the trade, you know.
The Arab them.
Yeah, the Arab them, you know. See, and them sorry too. Because it manipulates the world now, we know that America, United States can just go and print dollar. Just a print dollar. Anything them just print dollar.
Well, you know, you see, since Trump come up with film tariff thing, the other one, them like China and them one, they get wise now, you know, and start figure out, say, watch out. I better we go and trade with one another and I try to depend upon Trump and America, you know. If you do, them are the biggest, what you call it, consumer country, but even one of them who did a fight against China, like Canada and all them places,
yeah.
Go around the corner now and I deal with China. You know, whole yeah, country now deal with China when never used to deal with China.
Yeah, because China is the factory for the world, you know. And you know, China becomes the factory for the world. America, the thing say, I use them, they don't use China. But China, the Chinese, them smart. But the Chinese, them do know. Like, say, them come and work my factory down there. Them have to train the workers, them in a hall farm. And that Jamaica should have done right now, you know, with them China people who are building them road there, you know. See, I mean, so Jamaica do it with the university. Them should have make all the civil engineers near them. I learned from China, from the Chinese, them we are building the highways, the man them little thing there, you know. That's after a time. I just pay people who have a bill highway and certain little thing, and we can send all people go next small island and send all people go bill highway and all that. And that China, China trick them, you know. Because here we have China now. Chinese a man will come down here, you know, and see I print some Bob Marley t-shirt, you know. And just go and start print film one them after some cheaper material, you know. And take over the thing, you know. Well, that China don't know. With US. Then the things that them are go down there now, go make them build cheap sneakers. The sneakers come America and sell dear. And but when you check and start now, the man them start build for them imitation sneakers too.
Yeah, what you know, I know, I can tell you something. I know imitation, you know. You see Nike and Gucci and all of them places where when you go in a Manhattan, you see all shoes for much hundreds of dollars and handbags for 500 US. At China, the whole of them make, you know.
Yeah.
The design of them, all them do is carry them design to China, make the Chinese make it, and come back in America and put for them label on it. And then
put for them.
Where cost them all, like, I look at that thing where they want to say, one iPhone cost about $15 US to make in a China.
China, yeah.
And when it reach over here, so $1,000 US.
Yeah, because the Chinese foreign minister are the finance. The foreign minister are the finance minister come out. What you know when the church when Trump are going and thing there, you know, and say, look here, people don't blame China because China build the things them cheap.
Yeah, because for them working force work cheaper than America.
Cheaper. Yeah, and these people are pressure on a weed. You understand? So the people them get to find out now say, some little Gucci thing where you see someone run down and
yeah. Them shoes and
them shoes and this. And the
polo t-shirt and all them so that China them make.
A China them make.
Yeah.
You understand? So some man feel like say for them thing make a Vietnam. Yeah, even. See? And what China do you know? China take over the whole of the market, them like Vietnam and them place there, you know. All of them like a close place to him. Because them smell the rat and swag, you know. So Me don't know. I don't feel like them can stop China again, you know.
No, you can't chat over there. The technology of China have this or no, it's unmatchable, man. The thing that the man them make now, you can't believe say them make. Yeah. Because the Tesla carry them over there, so them set them up, you know.
Them set them up, yeah.
Yeah, man. And then bring them come to America. That's why when they know in a problem. Because Tesla now sell again. You know, see? So it's not everything. Anyway, we have to move.
Yeah, man, anyway. Yeah. Yeah, man, bless up yourself, Mutan.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man, we're back in on the place, you know.
All right, sir. Give thanks, man. Give thanks. Okay. We're saying about the more advertisement. They had them word out. I think you say a 2 set of ad was to go up there, so all right. All right, okay. We are on the show. Which boss that about? Yeah, them already, man. EL,
Mota. Bless you. Good night, brother.
Good night, sir.
Yeah. You know me, I look for Mota. Me I say. Every time somebody ever rises from out of Africa, you realize no matter how them try, somebody always rise. The first bridging them take out, the bridging, the oil bridging them. I mean, Gaddafi.
I know the first one that.
No, I'm one of them. When them take out. Yeah. And they take out another one before him. But you see, the thing is, Mota, it's only a time before people realize they can't do one thing over and get to with it. You see, life mistakes. So people learn from each mistake.
Of course.
So, anytime people find a leader where them can fight for, where them willing to die for, it's a problem.
Yeah, well, that's no.
Right, just like slavery in a motor. Somebody rising and the people them follow. Slavery abolished. That's the hero them we have. Nanny and Coach and all of them. And a 300 years that last one, it stopped. People, them white people, they realize that no matter where you do, nothing lasts forever. Everything has to come to an end. One is not right. It's only righteousness survive Mota. Even it's always our limit. So nothing lasts forever, my brother.
All right, sir.
You see? And the Western will understand. Mota, you know me understand the Biblia. Everybody will say them a world power fall, you know. Them not to the history.
Yeah, them not look at history.
So America must fall, you know, my brother.
It was Greece. Then it turned Rome.
Then
it go England. No, America.
So them not understand. You see, black people will build America, you know. Them deal with the black people, them like, I tell them, my brother.
Slaves, them like slaves.
And them people that build America. And then them deal with them. That never lasts forever. Them never realize that, you know. When them do the black people and the history, it never lasts forever. What a day when the table turns, Mota.
What a thing.
What a day when the table
turns, you know. It just a move slow.
Yeah, it has to turn. Life set that way there. Once you do negative Mota, it have a limit. Just like we there, I don't understand. We just there pass through, you know. Just enjoy it and go through, no man.
Go through.
One bring down the next virgin. You see what I'm saying? When one child ball, the next one a laugh. How we explain that?
Yeah.
And just sufferation all over. You know, understand it. The world.
And the sufferation all over, so you know, so make it look like we're there. You know, and I'm going to put myself in a sufferation bracket, you know.
Yeah, you know, Mota, you remember all the pictures where them paint Africa back then?
Of course.
And when the World Cup, we see when the World Cup play, me I fear one night for the same Africa, you know, are different.
Then I see most of the French footballer them in the World Cup appear African.
And that we get to realize the African team that
African them come from.
But the way them show Africa when the never know Africa pretty virgin.
Well, it's a continent, you know, it's not a country, it's a continent.
That's why I say, who control the media.
Yeah, control the brains.
Yeah.
Brainwashing, yeah, man.
Follow the media more time. You're not going to know the truth. The media will lead you where they want and bring you down.
Yeah.
I want them to feed you where they want.
All right, Bridget, man, give thanks. Give thanks.
Yeah, man, guidance.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, man, Mandingo. Yes,
yeah, you man, no, to me, I'm gonna call me boss, and I tell him some Muta my name.
Oh, I believe that. All right, Mandingo.
Yeah, I hate it to about boss, it's like I'm here PM.
Hey, for real. Muta.
Yes, sir.
What I say, you know, condolences to the family of one of our Kingston technical brethren, Robert Gregory, who graduated in 1968 and he was leader at the cadet, one of the leaders at the cadet corps at Kingston Technical High School, and ex-jumper Cheer, who died yesterday, Wednesday morning from kidney problems. You know what I mean? Yeah, to the family, you know. Stockett mate from Kingston Technical told me, you know, Stockett from York Street. And also, one of the well-known soundman them in Brixton and Battersea, South London, Leon Parsender, known as Herbie Renegade, the owner of Renegade Sound System. Yeah, it was his funeral on Monday, and I did the eulogy. And you know, with school he used to go Muta. I remember them other school at 146 Orange Street named Progressive Prep School. A lady named Miss Martin did run it. Is that so Stucky? I remember Errol Brown, engineer.
Yeah, I know Errol.
Yeah, Errol went to that school with Stucky Smith too. Yeah, man, you know. When Herbie Renegade used to go to that school and thing, and one of the great sound man them in London, you know what I mean, Party and Bridget used to play them and thing. And listen, I have to make a correction to what the brethren then I said earlier. It's not the Arabs who made the petrodollar thing, you know. It's the US, you know. First of all, it is Richard Nixon in trying to undermine the Russians. Reach out to the Chinese and get the Chinese to be making cheap prices, then paying them, and not realizing that by making the Chinese make industrial things, appliances, that by necessity the Chinese would learn the technology because they have to give them the know-how to make these things. And so it turned back on Richard Nixon and the other capitalists in my states, using the Chinese as cheap labor. But
but the workforce in China, where the Chinese them work for, America now go work for that, for the same kind of work.
Exactly. That is right. That is what Richard Nixon did and create that problem now for the US and things. So the Chinese get the technology of making all kind of things and using it. And this thing about how the US dollar came in, you know, is that before the US dollar, the currency in the world was the English pound, you know, the British sterling. But what the USA did is that they demanded after the war ended in 1945 that the US dollar must replace the British pound as the reserve currency in the world. That is what happened. So it's not like with the brethren then I said earlier, you know, we have to correct people when them give wrong information, you know, and things. And next thing matter about Chinese and things. Jamaica has had many brilliant civil engineers making a lot of things, buildings and roads, and Jamaican civil engineers. Laxley Comrie, man. From Denham Town and Trench Town, brilliant civil engineer. Yes, and I as a Jamaican civil engineer was one of those who built the Maypen Bypass Road, working with the Ministry of Works in the 1970s. So we know how to build roads and that type of thing. So but this brethren talking, him don't know how this go. So me have to make them correction there. We are brilliant, not just Jamaican civil engineers, but electrical engineers, chemical engineers that are of great benefit to countries outside of Jamaica. Because Marcus Garvey Jr., our teacher, said one of the things with
Jamaica... Great engineer that too.
Exactly.
Marcus Garvey
Jr. Brilliant.
That him teach, you know. Teach that.
Exactly. The physics teacher. So we have to correct people who have given them wrong information there. But what Marcus Garvey Jr. said is that the PMP and GLP administration, they don't give incentive to a lot of our brilliant professionals in various fields.
They make you look on foreign. They make you look on foreign for go away.
Yes, we go Canada, Britain, US, and elsewhere in the world. We have brilliant African professionals in all fields, medicine, engineering, the works. What is the corrupt PMP and GLP politics? The force. You know, a lot of them even come home and work and force we have to leave because of this corruption thing. So we have the ability. And you see, the US, you see, them trying to use the OAS, get to them troops to come help them fight the people in Haiti, you know. Yes?
Well, they might try to do it, they might do it.
Yes, because no, what happened is that you know them use the Kenyan there with the boy
and the Jamaican
and the Jamaican with Andrew on it there. But because that is not working, they've come out publicly now and saying that they want to use the racist them. Look on the Dominican Republic, which is right beside Haiti, as you know.
Same country.
Same country. Same island. Same island. Same island. And look how they murder Haitian people for years upon years and kick out Haitian people. The children of Haitians born in the Dominican Republic are refused Dominican Republic citizenship due to them racism against Africans. And yet, them want to use them and other racist regime in so-called South America to fight against our freedom fighters in Haiti. But them a fight gangs. As you say all the while, Muta, you and I know, it's not no gangs in Haiti.
No gangs.
It's Haitian freedom fighters fighting for them country because the US and France want to thief the resources, continue to thief the resources of Haiti, and not so that the riches of Haiti not used. And it's the same thing Captain Traore in Burkina Faso is doing. Why they are trying to murder him, just like how them fight against Marcus Garvey, who set the pace, which is what President Traore is continuing with. His Marcus Garvey work, continuing with what Patrice Lumumba did, with what Malcolm X did, with what Nyeri did, and what Kwame Nkrumah did, and so on. So Traore and other Pan-Africanists, and this is why we support him, are simply continuing the work of the greatest African leader ever, Marcus Garvey, who said it is self-reliance in all areas for African people, economics, politics, military, and otherwise. And we have to do as much as we can to protect the life of Traore, because we see the racists and the traitors want to kill him. And it's a war situation. Yeah, man, all the boy, they Langley, a traitor boy, they both in my US 4-star Marines.
But you see them usually take them man and put them up front here. You remember Colin Powell? They would have put Colin Powell to tell the whole world lie.
Same thing. Same thing. Yeah, man. Use them coats there. You know what I mean? So, this warrior, is not everybody who is of African race is just as we know Muta. Them are traitors. So the boy Langley, he is a current traitor. And any African who fight against President Traore is an enemy of the African race. And we have to fight against them because it's a war situation with them every time. You know what I mean? And last night we played at the Ritzy in Brixton there, You know the Ritzy cinema at Brixton, Old Harbour Lane corner there, near Winrock Square. played the last night, man, and it was a joy.
What was your occasion?
You know?
What was your occasion?
No, every second Wednesday of the month, them have reggae sessions there.
Okay,
you know? So last night I was invited and me have it filmed and me send it to you and others and thing, man. Go on good because Muta, we have to keep pushing reggae music, you know. And me love how Leroy Sibbles make a tune named Ibrahim Traore, you know.
Well, you the one me just play a while ago.
No, and
from
never hear
Africa.
the one there. Who
Yeah,
do
man, the one that rough rasta.
Who do the one there?
African virgin name, I'm come by name.
All right, but in okay. See,
well, African virgin man, nice man.
Yeah. Nice, no? Well, you forget the Leroy Sibbles, Eptone's one, King of the Reggae Basslines one, man. Ibrahim Traore.
What name?
It named Ibrahim Traore. As simple as that.
Oh, the one where me just play a while ago that it name too.
Okay.
The one me just play the Ibrahim Traore, that right.
It named man, Leroy.
Me look fit.
Leroy Sibbles. Eh?
Look fit.
Yeah, man, look fit, man. Ibrahim Traore.
You have it? You have it?
Yes, man, me have it. I'll send it to you.
They'll just send it to me, man.
Yeah, man, I'll send it to you, man.
All right,
man.
Yeah,
all right, so Muta, remember, you know, me and you and other Pan-Africanists, let us continue to do everything we can to protect and support Ibrahim.
We can support him, yes, fine, yes, but I don't know where we protect him from, yes, so we can support it, but protect it is another thing.
Support, yes, but protection come in many ways, and guys.
Like, tell me.
I know everything.
No, man, tell me
we have to talk about public way. So, we have to do all we can in support of it. All right?
That may I say, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Support is a better word.
Protecting him too. See? Love every time.
All right,
Africa for the Africans, for those that home and abroad. And come out of Haiti.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man, talk.
Yeah, man, what go on? Motor.
Cutting edge.
Yeah, man, that's a go on. Yeah, man, my program this month from 1996.
1992.
Eh?
1992.
I listened from 1996.
Okay, you missed 4 years.
Yeah, because I have a Rasta from 95, so I find the program in 96.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, sir.
Yeah, man. Well, now you can listen and love where I go on.
Okay.
See?
Yeah, man, give thanks.
Yeah, man. It just means changes.
Yeah.
See?
Word sound of power, you know.
Yeah, man.
Word sound of power, man.
So we have an African leader here where we have Senegal on inside and now. We have Niger.
The version of Senegal is a youth now, too, you know. It's a new prime minister, is a youth, you know.
Man.
I hear some one see me too.
You know, I realize.
Hold on. Let me say it. 2 African come and want, that they don't have Black History Month. 2 African come and want thing run a university, run a art school, and they see them a run come to me and I say, wait, what's them, brother? I say, you Mutabaruka? Oh, the new president of Senegal, he wants to meet you. I say, hey. It's a serious thing. So I say, what do you mean he say? I'll have to be said for me. But it was amazing that him said that I don't know the virgin. I don't know him anyway. So what I say?
Man, so I just want the people to know, say, now at the time for we unite, because we can't free if we're not united. I know we're not united, we can't free because the system doesn't unite to rule I and I. So the only way we have to get back ourselves together as a people.
How we going to do that? Tell me how we going to do it.
How we can do it?
Yeah.
We don't have to just do the right thing, man.
What's the right thing? What's the right thing? Tell me what the right thing.
The right thing now is to follow the leaders who willing to free Africa like Ibrahim Traore and be a supporter of that connection. Step away from religion, from the church and the state, because the church and the state have in their option. That's why they give a Christian name and a surname. Because they claim to say them control and own them.
So you have an African name?
No, I have an African name. I have a government name.
No, the whole of a government name. I talk about
I have an African name.
So how you come in have an African name?
I name a Shangabeng, I name.
Oh, Shangabeng, okay. Well, African name that no white man named Shangabeng.
Yeah, man. But it's not a registered name that exists.
No, you don't have to register it. Watch out. Shangabeng or Shanga, you're there. Where would it come from Africa who register with name? Nobody never register with name.
Sure.
Only have African name, nobody never register.
The state master just want to be our father, because they try to rewrite history and they say them are the father. That's why them say the son must have the father name. So when them give it our name now, we look up to them like them are the father. Because a mind game run the world, you know.
No, let me tell you. No, the name must identify you with the slave master who own you. So if him name, yeah, so when you run away and you go to next man place and you ask, and the slave master over there asks you, where you know, it's Mr. Brown. Him say, oh, you run away. You run away from Mr. Brown. So you know, so you have to go, you're gone back on the plantation, you know. Because you carry you go back and meet Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown, I buck up on your slave them down the road there, you know. And I ask him, name say Mr. Brown, so I know say you're a slave. So I said, go.
So the people need people step away from religion as well, because it's the church. The church be agreed to just like the state. You know.
Are the biggest church, and the church are the biggest slave master them.
Yeah, man. Cause when one stress out, when the political system stress out, you know, you claim say I got church for the comfort, guy.
Them grab you.
Yeah. Why? So the pastor now. The pastor, I gotta say, you must pray and your life will get better. While you might take your money to better for him life. And the people now dance, but how comes that? So we need to step away from the church, because it's a distraction from a true purpose.
Of course. That may I say too. Long time I say it.
Yeah, we can't burn out the state or what, and then I run go to the church.
And they go to the church, yeah. I agree with you. All right, sir. Give thanks.
Yeah, most I know, sir. I do want to say something today. I have here still.
No, we can't talk no half year thing, you know. We're up on the year.
All right. I don't know if you can get your email address.
Yeah, but we can't get on the year neither. You have to go wait, man. You have to go call about the station.
You can't get Shane, man. You can text him and make him.
I know Shane down there.
Okay.
All right, make it Shane. When him come.
All right,
yeah,
man.
Yeah, man. Okay.
I'm going to do it again.
No, we're not stop. Man.
Go on, put in where you put in.
All right. Anyway, you have to know. Being the time, Malvern, why you love earthquake, you know. Earthquake, we see you have phone with, but we did the fire from the phone. I know me look on the phone, me see it now. Earthquake is the man who hosts the Africa Day celebration in a Malvern, that at St. Elizabeth. So all roads lead to Malvern, which is the 23rd Liberation Day. So I guess that I go start the 22nd in the evening, go right back. So everyone know what they're supposed to do on the 23rd African Liberation Day. So we just remind you about that. For those who can make it, go and make it. Because just so it go every year. African Liberation Day, Malvern, St. Elizabeth.
Greetings in the name of the King. Emperor Haile Kadamari Selassie. You don't know. You are on the thing, you know. Cutting edge. We bet on the ledge. You see me, I say. No. I want the people to know, say, Rastafari, head of the team. We run the team. No matter what I want. We are all parliamentarians. I'm going to have to come on that easy kind of motor car. Joy is an international
So I say, commander, you know, I have to address it on a certain level of the quorum. Now, to all parliament, members of the Jamaica government, Governor General, Prime Minister Dr. Holness, Commander of the JDF, Dr. Kevin Blake, Commissioner of Police, Dr. Chang, Miss Faith Williams, Dr. Dixon, and Dr. Tufton. Those are the people of subject matter discussion where I want to get involved with in this discussion. Now, only for eloquent speech attack, condolences to the bereaved, all people who lost loved ones. All the great Max Romeo. I know him from a young man just come to Kingston, because I used to live next to my yard. Up in my Mount View area there. You know, see it. I want to say, people, look upon the thing through open eyes and not with your ear. Government perform good. I take that from them. I perform good. In the form of the crime intensified, going down in numbers, statistically, good performance. But also, the conduct of some of the officers is unbecoming. And Dr. Blake, you have to stabilize that because that can lead to other things out of that context of the matter. So we are with that we work on. Now the people in Jamaica, I watch something and I notice the people in Jamaica, them unruly, which we don't know that still, them unruly in a certain sense. You have to lower the police. Remember this, you know. Life is like a chess game. The administration of government is like playing chess. The policeman are the pawn in the chess game. So when you and the policeman have a confrontation in the street, I would advise take the relevant information, car, time, location.
So what the people them is what in the chess game?
Eh?
The people is what in the chess game. If the police are the pawn, what the people them is in the chess game?
The people them are the players of the chess game.
And them are player?
Yeah, them are player.
So the police is the pawn. So what is the other people? What is the other thing them on the chessboard?
Well, as we go up in line now, the pieces now become the government and those people. You know, see, you have the rook, which is the foundation of the thing. And you have the lawyer them, which is like the bishop them, along with the church, you understand? Okay. And then you have the queen, which is the major player.
Oh, so is the people them are player then?
Yeah, the people them are player. That means the people them are player.
No, I just want to find out which part of the people them there in the whole thing.
Yeah, the people them are player. So what happened now, the people them start to take up the pawn seriously and want to confront the pawn as an important piece in the game. But the pawn is not that important in the game. You have to move beyond the level of the pawn and look further to the higher ups like the bishop and the rook, you see me I say, and the horse, you know, the knight, as them call it, the protector. So those are the people you have to look upon in the structure of government order. So when you have a grievance with the police out the street, you make note of it and then you file it to the higher ups. Because the policeman just acting on orders that he was given. And sometimes he go a little bit out of the way because them give him under penal code of law, them give him a wide leverage to assume and do things. You understand? So sometimes, as we know, ego and personalities play a role and it go beyond where it's supposed to go. But we not take no credit from them for what them I do. We are give them the full credit. You see me I say? Now, come to government thing, we are dealing with integrity. And in all the eloquence and the speeches and all these things we are going, I don't see no integrity because it's over Muta. It's over 11 years now, you know. Them has not given account to the $3 trillion. Nobody not talk about it. The medical system in Jamaica is in total disarray. And it's about $640-something billion missing from them accountability there. And nobody now see nothing. The same thing with the educational system. All of the vital components of make good governance of a society is not being accounted for. So where them speech or carry go? You just have to make a man get elected for another 4 years so him can keep up the same arms or so they might keep up. the thing must be dealt with. That is a priority on the scale of things that we are look towards. You know, see, the beneficiary of the things that they talk about is the PSOJ, a benefit from all our going. The hotel building, the hotel industry, all of them things, they now benefit the poor average Jamaican, who it's supposed to be there for. Common law come out of the Justinian order of rule, which we call corpus juris civilis. That are the rule of law, where Britain take up as common law. Common law was made for the common people to redress and address the situation of governance in every society where them give it for living. And the people must look to that as the most important factor. So from the government now provide with the services where we put them there for. Because all of them is servant, you know. Neither of them want to feel like them big and top and or something, you know. Them are servant because what them say them is public servant. And them is there for the what? The public will, which is the betterment of the people, environment, and the being of the establishment. You see where I come from? And we are going to hold them to that, no matter what go on. We are going to hold them to the elections who come in before you know it, in probably September, October, you know. And them are go around the thing, them are skirt it. Them are talk about the marijuana thing and them not do nothing about it. You see me I say? Someone know with the Minister of Culture, Miss Babsy Grange, with honor and respect. We know her from she run down south. You understand? When she represent Gold Street, and from them time we know them people, you know. And she will know that for a long time that. And you see that. So we want to know what to do about those things. Because Rastafari depend a forward movement, you know. And we not stop, and we not give up. We want to say to the people, and we listen to the eye all the while all over the world. We represent the freedom of black people, black communities worldwide. That we represent. I want to big up my and commander, Ibrahim Traore, because we are running under the same banner.
All right, sir. Give thanks. Yeah, man.
You know, much love, honor, and respect, and big up the whole of the crew.
All right, sir. Yes. Yeah?
Yes.
Speak. What is in the night, yeah? Yeah.
Mota?
Yes.
Yeah, good night, sir.
Good night.
I just want to ask you, would you question the authenticity of the Garden of Eden story?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, because I was...
Let me have a question, it, man.
Yeah, could I just say this before? Because you always have some wise commentary. I was in church the other day, Sabbath church, Seventh-day Adventist, and I asked a couple questions because the Bible says God made the world, and the pastor said, and it was perfect because God is perfect and nothing is. But my question of perfection, how I view it is different. I see relative perfection and absolute perfection. God being absolute perfect and we are just relative. But I'm not going there with you because I know your stand and thing. The point I'm making is that, okay, let's say he created all things and it was good according to the Bible. But then the question comes, we are asked, at what point would Adam and Eve, if they had been successful in the test, if it was a test, you know, at what point would they have received or be approved of immortality? And he could not answer me. You know, so if the story is true then, and let's say it was a test, we don't know, but the serpent come and tested them, for what reason? And if, at what point, if both of them had been successful, would they have received immortality? What would have been the reward? You know, these were my questions, and they could not be answered.
Okay. So why you ask them that question then?
Because based on the church stand, the church is saying
the Bible tells you God make evil too.
Right.
The Bible
God made evil, but yeah, but God made evil, yes, but Adam and Eve did not have it in their system. They did not have it in their capacity. Based on what we understand.
God had it in his capacity, and the tree of knowledge of good and bad would have introduced it into their capacity, you know. So the fact that they violated, you know, and ate of that tree caused them to become like defective and degenerate as human beings. The long-term goal, the intention was for them to be immortal beings like God.
Who said that? Who said that? Who said that was a long-term thing?
Based on the religious beliefs, the Adventist religious beliefs.
Oh, no, I think the Bible said that.
No, so they are saying based on their belief that they would have become immortal beings and become like God.
Yeah.
So my question to that theology is, at what point would God have approved of it, granted them that? You know, would they have been going through more tests, or after they succeeded that test? Okay. Versus they believe also that there are other unfallen worlds. In other words, we are not the only beings. God has made other unfallen.
Well, the Bible says in Genesis 4, the sons of God, so that the daughters of men were fear and took unto themselves wife.
Yeah. So I am not questioning the other unfallen, because rationally thinking, I do believe that too. We are just in different dimensions.
Where say you believe? Where say you believe?
No, I am saying, sometimes you don't know what to believe, because
you don't know what to believe?
In terms of certain things. Some things are like beyond our capacity, our knowledge scope. Because what do you believe on that? That's why I really call, you know.
What do you believe on what? About Adam and Eve?
Yeah,
no story that, man. I'm not story that, I'm for real, man.
Yeah, so...
A man I write them something in that story.
Then it comes to this question. How do you think we came about in terms of early man and the First Nation?
I don't know.
Okay, sir.
All right, thank you. Virgin. Yeah, man. Iron man.
Big up, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, me I try to get you, you know.
A year?
For last year, February. Remember, I get that number there.
Why I'm still dealing to your phone from last year?
No, when you call, you never call the Wednesday night, my family.
Oh, you?
Yeah, you call the Thursday.
Where you talk about when you call?
When you call the Thursday, no, me the day of March.
Okay. From last year? From last year, how much?
Yeah, and even tomorrow I want to go a match, so come here, I want 49.
So, a 1 year now you call and I hear how much for 1 year every Thursday?
Shanice give my name, no?
What?
She should give my name.
Oh.
Shanice.
Who name Shanice?
Your co-worker up there. That the partner area that attached to him.
No, Samara. She doesn't nobody not give no name, man. A 1 year now you talk about. Well, I don't know where you talk about, you know. No, Shamara not there, no. Shamara gone her bed.
All right.
She must have there a dream about you.
Shanice, me not tell she give me name.
No, nobody not there, man. I'm in a bridge alone there.
All right. You know what I mean, I know. You see the 3-letter word in a Jacob son then.
3-letter word in a Jacob?
Yeah.
But I understand where you are. 3 letters in a Jacob, 3-letter word in a Jacob.
Yeah, when a Jacob son, you have 3 letters in it.
Where name?
You don't know. Samuel, Ruby, Levi, the next one.
Gad?
Oh, you call it on the way for motor, man. You know?
No, Gad, man. What happened?
Yeah, but we never want to do that to the people. When you want to talk about, we never feel like talk about, we want to talk about.
Then if you want to talk about Gad, what the man come with some little go around the corner business, right, sir?
No, I don't want public committee. Yeah.
So when you don't want to talk about it and they have to go with
you have to do with the Minister of National Security and Justice. So work around the department.
Brethren, the program have a little bit of time left, you know. Stop talk, round the corner and talk where you talk.
Here we go now. After being employed with them.
Employed with who? Employed with who?
The Department of Culture and Service and the Ministry of National Security.
Okay. So Gad come in that. Gad come in that.
I mean, I public interest and they want some money and they don't want to pay me. All avenues, me I try go, them I try block it.
But that's where you go on avenue, you should go on the road.
No, I go on the road.
The way you talk about you go on avenue, that's why you don't see them.
The road, they want to be avenue or motor. So,
The thing is this, that now, me not like talk to you privately.
No, but we want to talk to me privately about that, and that you want to talk to me about.
Still.
No, about that way I say, no, you want to talk to me privately about.
Yeah.
No, but I don't want to talk about that privately, Virgin. Your problem is not my problem, but you want to talk to me privately about it. I solve you want me solve it?
You give me some information if you have any could I give me.
So talk it where you talk now, I'm going to get information.
All right, here I know. Every time I public interest, I want 50% of my retirement benefits for 31 years now. All these 31 years, I live out the road with some secret accident. And like the 25th of August last year, I write them a letter, and now them can't try to give me an interview. We have a union in UAW, what I Lambert Brown. Him delegate disrespect me. Okay, I mean, diss him back. The thing about it is this, that now, the Federation, the Customer Service Federation are mighty with them farm it, you know. But I mean, I want public or meeting like how you have it, you know.
All right, well, you want me to know.
If you're kidding, I have it short and case, you know, brother.
All right, you want me to know. Listen to me, I say.
Yeah.
Because I know how you go up on, you say Thursday you go and match again. You want me to know. We're going to have a lawyer up on the program tomorrow. You can ask him.
Yeah,
tell him where
you by 2 from 2 to 3 o'clock.
Eh?
You can get in a call here from 2 to 3 o'clock.
At 4 o'clock in my company, the lawyer come 4 o'clock.
All right, I'll get in a call for you that time.
All right. So talk about it tomorrow, yeah?
There's something no motor where you need to know.
No, but you don't know why. Wait, no, man. How much things you going to say? So you don't say something already.
All right.
You come back with something. Tomorrow, you call the lawyer and tell the lawyer what they're going to tell me. All right?
All right.
All right, blessed. You know, we'll be back here at 2 o'clock. That's 2 p.m. with the Stepping Razor, the Art of War. So, we have a special little program tomorrow. We'll start a new feature. Bring in a lawyer and make him talk about the law. And you're right and you're wrong about the law. 2 o'clock.